Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel Say What's Real TV. This review is for Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 5, Episode 13, Feeling the Heat. We open up the episode with John, the prosecutor John, and Maurice, where he's still trying to get Maurice to sign these papers stating that Sabrina was the mastermind. And now he's trying to tell Maurice that she gave Maurice up and she's out of jail. He got video of her, and Maurice keeps saying she would never do that. And he was like, you never know what nobody will do when they facing 30 years. So Maurice still standing his ground saying that, look, I'm from the hood. What you trying to pull not going to work on me. I was born that night, but not last night. He didn't say that, but that's what I'm saying. So he's basically telling him to go to hell and to leave him the hell alone. He stressed that, leave him alone. The prosecutor said, I noticed you haven't made any phone calls. And Maurice was like, what? And he said it again. We know when you make phone calls. We do know that Maurice attempted to call Calvin's crazy ass before, but Calvin didn't answer the phone. So he has tried to make one phone call, but I don't know why he says have yet to do it again. So he basically told him, like, just leave me alone and don't call me back into this room no more. So we go over to Andy's office where she thinks she Jessica Fletcher over there solving mysteries just by seeing a tan line on a finger. I'm like, okay, girl, whatever. What the hell ever. Fatima, she's sitting there like, oh, yeah, he proposed. And Andy said, well, why you didn't tell me? And I'm like, girl, because it wasn't none of your damn business. It was none of your business, Andy. So Fatima tells her, because I didn't want you to go back and tell Karen. And Andy claimed she wouldn't have told Karen anything. And Fatima was like, yeah, that's right, especially when you don't know nothing. Like, you can't tell what you don't know, right? And that's how you should have kept it, Fatima. But then, still talking, running off of her mouth, Fatima goes and shows Andy a picture of Tamara and told her the whole plan and how she using her for a plant to set Hayden up. And I'm like, Fatima, why are you telling all the... I'm like, I was so mad. Like, Fatima, you have to move in silence. You have to move in silence. Andy is not your bestie. You're not best friends. You're not. Why did you even tell her that? I felt like you shouldn't have told her. We need this plan to work. You can't be running off. First, last week, it's just a plan waiting to fail. Last week, you brought Tamara in the office and you took her in the conference room or the break room somewhere to look her up and down and talk to her in front of everybody. Then now you're going to tell this week, you go and tell Andy everything. Like, girl, Fatima, I'm going to need you to tighten up. Do we need to call Madam? Because Madam don't move like this. Madam strikes and the shit just be over with. You over here running your mouth. But Andy, all she worried about is he going to live throughout this whole ordeal, long as he remains alive. That's all she care about. Fatima was like, yeah, he gonna live, girl. He gonna live. So Fatima trying to leave, and she's like, oh, sit back down. Like, I'm like, girl, no, ma'am. My feet hurt. I'm tired. I'm off from work, and I'm getting ready to go. So like a fool, Fatima sits back down, and Andy goes in like, are you going to marry him? Are you going to marry him? Tell me. Like, girl, it's none of your business once again. Why do you even want to know? Why do you care? So Fatima goes into the whole thing about dealing with the whole Karen and that baby maybe belonging to Zach. And here we go with Andy coughing and taking in breaths and acting like she just acting stupid as hell. So Fatima's like, girl, what is all that about? Why you keep doing all of that? Andy claims she don't know what Fatima talking about. So Fatima was like, that's cool, no problem. Keep your little ragged ass secret. It'll come to surface sooner or later. True. So she goes to continue to tell her business, which, Fatima, I don't even know why you told her any of your business, girl. I keep telling you, it's not your friend. Stop telling her all your business and how you feel. I wouldn't tell her a goddamn thing. So she go to telling her about the child support and how Heather and Karen probably come after the child support money and all this and that Hayden is representing Heather. I didn't even realize that Karen knew about Heather because Karen walk around like she thinks she the only one got Zach's baby. I don't remember her talking about Heather before, but hey, I could have missed something. So Andy says, "Oh, well, he's financially stable now." Like, why y'all worrying about what money Zach got? See, that's the whole thing right there. So Fatima basically says she's gonna stick by Zach and just see how everything goes. She gets up to get ready to leave, and Andy says, "Well, I'm right behind you because I'm meeting the girls at my house later." And Fatima gives this little look. So Andy was like, "Well, what was that for?" So Fatima was like, "Well, usually when you guys hook up, it's either to party or it's some kind of drama. And since Karen is pregnant, and I'm sure it's not to party, so you guys have fun." So she looks at her crazy and walks out. And Andy was like, "I'll see you tomorrow, girl. Make sure you take them shoes off." I have a question. So when Andy told Fatima that the girls were coming over to her house later on, do you guys think that Fatima got into her feelings because Andy didn't invite her over there after she done sat her ass down there and told Fatima all her business like they was best friends? Or do you guys think it was something else? Let me know what you think down in the comments. So we get over there to the airport with Q and Danny. And Danny's leaving work. I guess Q's leaving work. I don't know. He's over there begging to go have drinks, telling her to buy him a drink. I'm like, he done lost his mind. Over there begging for a weed pen. And she was like, "Are you even off of work? Like, do y'all even work?" So she told him he can walk her to the car and hit the pen one good time or whatever, and that was it. And he was like, "Oh, I'm convincing. I can convince you to go get drinks. It's a bar right up the street." And this dude really trying to get somewhere where he can lay his head, because we all know he don't have nowhere to go. Just nowhere to go. So Danny was like, "No, you just gonna hit the pen and that's gonna be it." So Maurice makes a collect call to Calvin and he finally accepts. I guess he knows who it is this time. So the two of them, they do their little small talk, and Maurice in there joking about letting the men look at his bosom and all that. But basically, he wanted to ask a question and wanted to know, did Sabrina give him up? Calvin tells him no, she didn't. She wouldn't do that. Maurice wants to know, how did she get out? Calvin says she's out on bond. And he said, "Well, how did she get a bond and I didn't?" And Calvin tells him that Andy helped him. And Maurice was like, something fishy about that. So Maurice tells Calvin that the prosecutor wants him to give Sabrina up. Calvin was like, "Oh, you can't do that." And Maurice is like, "I know." He's basically saying that he didn't do anything. All he did was mess with a fool, talking about Q. And, just got cased up. Calvin told him, "Don't worry about none of that. We'll deal with that later on. We just got to worry about getting you out." Maurice says that's if he gets out, he might have to do something stupid. And Calvin was like, "What you mean by that?" So I guess Calvin was thinking, like, he thinks that Maurice is in a dark place or whatever, thinking maybe he'll try to do something to himself to hurt himself or something. And Maurice was like, "No, I'm trying to break out this bitch. Like, what you was thinking about? Like, because I'm good. I just need to get from out of here." And, Calvin told him, he'll work his hardest, basically to try to get him out. So at least he has somebody in his corner trying to help him the way Sabrina had the girls trying to help her. So we go over there to Zach and Fatima's. Zach is outside waiting on Fatima to get home. She pulls up. He goes to the car, gets her out the car, says all the lovey-dovey right things that he always says to her, and he tells her he has a surprise for her, but she needs to close her eyes. So he guides her into the house, but, her eyes are closed. She gets inside, and the big surprise was Zach had the table set all up for a little romantic dinner for two. And I'm like, okay, what is there something else coming out? I mean, is something under the table we didn't see yet? So Fatima looking at it like, okay. And he was like, "What, you don't like it?" She was like, "No, making a little faces and noises. And he was like, well, do you know I went to 3 gas stations to get this wine? You know how much this wine costs? This is premium gas station wine. And she's like, gas station? And I'm like, Zach, don't start all that penny pinching and all that now because you got the little child support. So Fatima says, are you doing all this to try to make me forget about what you got going on? So Zach tries to give somewhat of a heartfelt little speech or whatever, talking about why he's trying to prove something. And she says, what, you're trying to prove it to me by making me dinner? Like, basically saying that's not going to cut it. Zach says, no, I want to prove it by us getting married. So he think that them running off to the courthouse to get married is going to solve their problems. Fatima was like, no, she wants a regular wedding in a church with her family and her friends. So they go through all this long banter, and he's still joking about how her family are killers, how they can go into church and all of that. And they just go back and forth with all that. But I don't know, what is the rush? Can somebody tell me what the rush is? I guess Zach feels that if he don't hurry up and marry Fatima, she gonna haul ass. It don't matter if you get married tomorrow, you still can get an annulment. So Zach decides that he'll go ahead and wait as if he really had a choice. And Fatima was like, but we need to talk to Karen first. And she basically wants him to call Karen right now so that she can come over there so they can have the conversation with her. So, of course, they go through all the antics of he don't want to do it and all this and that. And they come up with this, oh, you can get dessert once you call her. And child, because she DD. And I don't know why you so DD and you got in-house Peter laying right next to you every night. I don't understand what the DD about. Girl, get your Peter. But anyway, she's forcing him to call Karen, and she needs it to be done tonight. So as Zach prepares for the frustration of it all, I'm wondering if Fatima is trying to be petty by having Karen come over there knowing damn well Karen's supposed to be going over there to Andy's house and meet with the girls in a little while. So she must be trying to make her mad or set something up. This is probably her plan to let Karen find out the truth about that engagement. But I did see the trailer where the ring is just sitting up there, just happened to be just sitting where anybody named Mama and Stevie Wonder could see it. You think you slick, Fatima. I see you, child. I see you. So we go over to the salon where we see that Karen has done Sabrina's hair, and it looks really nice, and she looks very pretty. And here comes Pam with the hand. Oh, it looks really nice, Sabrina. Like, I do like your natural hair. Talking about what happened. Where were you that you had to change it? Like, girl, stop asking that girl all those questions. Like, stop it, Pam. Just stop it. Sabrina felt uncomfortable. She was like, oh, I gotta go. And she goes to try to pay Karen. And Karen was like, no, girl, you're not going to pay me. You're good. And I'm like, Sabrina, you better try to keep your cash anyway, because your bank account should be frozen dealing with this case you got. So you don't have no other means unless your credit card is working or something. But girl, keep that cash. But that was nice of Karen, being a real friend, to not accept her money anyway. And I like those two together. When they come together in this moment and Sabrina's going through what she's been going through, Karen has really kind of been there for her. She tells her she loves her and that she's going to be all right and that she's beautiful. So I really like that about Karen when it comes to Sabrina. So Sabrina leaves and Pam comes talking about what's wrong with her. And Karen, shuts it down like nothing. And she said, look, I'm leaving. I got to go to the bank. And I turned everything off. I need you to lock up. And she's still telling her, like, make sure everything is straight before you leave this time, because you know what happened the last time. And she told her this was her last chance. They still throwing hints about this salon. And Pam was like, I got it. Her phone rings and it's Zach. So she's like, oh, this is Zach. And Pam was like, well, what does he want? And Karen is like, I don't know, and made Pam go to the back. I don't know if you was walking out the door, why you just can't walk out? I don't understand why she had to go to the back like some little puppy dog or something. Like, aren't you leaving? Walk out the door with the phone as you talking. That's crazy. So Karen answers the phone and Zach is like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. He's calling because he wants to talk about the baby and wants to know if she can meet with him and Fatima over to the house. And Karen was like, well, are you going to let me in this time or I got to stand outside? Zach just pretty much kind of brushed it off or whatever. She was like, well, I can be there because I'm meeting the girls in about an hour and I can stop by before I go there. And of course, Fatima in the background talking about, oh, that's perfect. See, I knew that was her plan all the while, slick. And Zach was like, well, cool. Do you have the address? And I'm like, Zach, why does she need the address when she just said, you already know she know where you live at. She just sat there and said, do I have to stand outside? Like, make it make sense. What are you talking about? So Karen thought about it and was trying to figure out why would Zach be calling her out of the blue. So she thought to herself, maybe Andy told Fatima something. So she calls Andy and asks her, did she tell Fatima about the baby? And Andy was like, no, why would I do that? And then she was like, oh, because they want to meet up with me. And Andy is like, well, why would they do that? She's like, I don't know. So Andy basically was like, when are you going? And she was like right now. I was on my way to you, but I'm going to go over there first. And Andy was like, well, I'm going to meet you there because I know how you are and I know how Fatima is. So I think it's in my best interest to try to be there, I guess, to mediate the situation. So Karen did tell her she don't have to go, but of course, nosy ass Andy, she insists because she want to be in the middle of the shit anyway with her nosy ass. So Andy hangs up the phone with Karen and immediately calls Fatima and questions her. The nerve. Questions Fatima about why she's meeting up with Karen. Like, girl, first of all, it's none of your goddamn business. Mind your business. Mind your business. She talking about, oh, is you gonna be there? And Fatima like, yeah. Like, yeah, I live here, ho. Yes. What the hell? What? Who are you? Talking about I'm on my way and don't open the door until I get there. Oh my God. See, this is what I be talking about with Fatima. This is when I need her to read these heifers. Because no, girl, you don't call me going off like you running shit. You don't run nothing over here. Who are you? They can talk to who they want to talk to. Karen told you didn't even have to go. Why are you calling Fatima questioning her? Oh my God, Andy got on my last nerve this entire episode. I don't know who she thinks she is, especially when it comes to Fatima. Fatima always act like she this big bad wolf, but be letting Andy get away with a lot of stuff, and I just don't like it. Now, before we left the airport, Danny stressed to Q that he was going to hit the weed pen and that was going to be it. And that he would not convince her of anything. Child, we get to the damn scene with them two and they sitting in the restaurant. Now, Aunt Danny, why are you in the restaurant with Q having drinks? Talking about you gonna have one more drink. You didn't get enough of the whole Jonah situation. And see, that's the thing. Like, the whole Jonah thing just happened, what, a day or two ago? If that, it really should have been at least like a day. So why are you, again, drinking with somebody you don't even know? Yes, the two of you work together, but you don't know Q. You really don't know Q. Quiet as it's kept, I cannot wait for you to find out who Q really is. But I am hoping you do not end up sleeping with this man before you find out who it is. Girl, that would not be a good look. I would be so mad at you because where is all this where you need to be showing that you traumatized? That you just went through something that, had you feeling some kind of way. You were distraught going to Andy's house, but was that only because you thought you had killed Jonah? And once you found out he was alive, everything was straight? It was all good? Like, you don't feel no kind of way? Like, nothing says like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be drinking with another dude a day or two after I just went through something with somebody else that it could have possibly ruined the rest of my life. Like, none of that registers in your head. Like, I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. Anyway, the two of them have this little back and forth, and she's basically not trusting him, and she feels like he's trying to be slick and conniving, and he says he's convincing and this and that, and still trying to, child, we I really don't care. I really don't. She keeps telling him she's getting ready to go, and he's like, well, can I come over your house or some mess? I'm like, Danny, get your ass up and take your ass over wherever you going at. Just please leave Q where the hell he is at, because he is just trying to scheme. So we go over there to Hayden's office, and Tamara, she's in there working her magic on him because he in there cheesing from ear to ear. She's asking him if he's single. He was like, yeah, he's most definitely single. He's just waiting for the right one type thing. And, she's laying it on thick, calling him sexy. Why nobody snatched you up and all this and that. So she gets ready to leave. He stands up and she says, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Talking about he's hard. And he was like, no, no, I'm not. He says, this is natural. I'm just gifted. She was like, yes, you are. I can tell. I'm like, girl, why are you talking like that? But anyway. Anyway, she was doing what needed to be done. So basically, she ended up asking him would he like to have a drink with her. And he was like, absolutely. And she was like, well, he said, where? And she said, back at my place. And I'll text you, I guess, her address. So I'm trying to figure out when they exchanged phone numbers for her to be able to text him. But maybe that happened off camera because, she was a walk-in. She just got there. So I don't know why would he give her his cell phone number? So he said he would walk her to her car. So the plan is still working so far. We go over to Danny's, and I forgot that Preston was even at Danny's house. She walks in, and the first thing come out her mouth, oh, you didn't lock the door. And he didn't even respond. He asked her how was her day at work, and she said something about turning over a new leaf. And the first thing came out her mouth to him was, what did you do all day? Not, hey, cat, dog, how you doing? None of that. Just what was you doing? He said, I thought about you. She said, oh, really? You weren't thinking about the other girl? Now, why would you come home talking all crazy like that, and you just left having drinks with another dude? Like, you didn't even mention what you was doing. Like, I mean, I don't know. So Preston brings up the fact that the landlord came by to check on Danny because she said that she saw Danny hit somebody with her car, and also that somebody hit Danny. And Danny's whole demeanor changed when this was brought up. So she basically tells him that it's no big deal and she doesn't want to talk about it. So they go back and forth. He tells her, I'm here for you. You can, if you need me, I'm here for you. So, child, she don't want to talk about it. She wants him to respect the fact that she don't want to talk about it. He told her he will not respect the fact, and that they're gonna talk about it, but he's just gonna let her be as of right now. But they will get to it sooner or later. And I don't know why. I'm trying to figure out why Danny don't want to talk about it. Because you're not triggered. You've been ripping and running in these streets since it happened and ain't looked back. You out there joking around, drinking with other dudes. So why are you so acting like it's such a big thing with Preston? Is it because you don't want him to know? Are you embarrassed? Is it because you don't want him to know you had another dude in the bed, the same bed he just laid in last night? Is that what the whole thing is? You feel embarrassed, but you're bringing up Mindy or Minnie, whatever her name is? Is that what it is? Or are you truly triggered? Because I haven't seen you be triggered by anything. You haven't even mentioned it. You never even told your friends that Jonah came to your job, not necessarily for you, but that you saw him hours after the incident happened. So why are we triggered talking to Preston? I know you guys are trying to give some support to Karen over there at Andy's house, but at the same time, you need to start dealing with your own problems sometimes. Stop running over there, dropping everything that you got going on, especially for Andy, because if she had it to do, she'll drop you like a hot potato when it came to Gary. So Go over there, show your little support for Karen, but get it together because Preston may not be there too much longer waiting on you. So we go over there to Sabrina's house. She gets a knock on the door. We see that it's Calvin. He comes in and says he's coming to check on her. And he also lets her know that he spoke with Maurice. So he gives her the whole rundown of what Maurice told him and what the prosecutor's been up to and trying to pin the two of them against each other. And all of a sudden, you see the worry in Sabrina's face and they're going back and forth, wondering what if Maurice is going to turn on her and this and that and the other. And she basically ended up saying that she is going to go and try to talk to Andy to see if Andy can help get Maurice out. I want to see how that plays out. Because, I mean, I just want to see how that plays out. She gets a knock on the door, and we see that it's Bio after she just yelled out, "Come in," door unlocked. He comes in, and he was like, "Well, Sabrina, I've been worried about you. I've come over here to your house about 3 times now." And he's been calling and calling, and Calvin is Calvin opens up his mouth talking about, "Oh, you don't see me sitting here." Like, Calvin, nobody is paying you no attention, child. Nobody sees you. That's how irrelevant you are. You talking up like that, like you demand respect, like you the man of the house, like Sabrina is your wife or your woman or something. Like, you're nobody. What were you expecting him to do? Speak? Say hello? Cat, dog, hello? Was that what you wanted? He don't have to talk to you. I would have been, child, please. Sabrina nipped all of that in the bud and basically let Bio know she's fine, she's okay. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll give you a call. And he was like, okay. He left without incident. He wasn't stunned. Calvin asked. And Calvin was like, "Oh, well, I can leave if you want to call him." Like, if she want to call him, she can, and she probably will. She probably should. So Sabrina basically told Calvin she was not with all the drama and the stress right now. She got too much going on to be worried about him and Bio with all that extra fussing and fighting they over there doing. So if he wanted to stay and talk, he can do that for a little while because she getting ready to go change her dress because she got hair all over it, and she getting ready to head over to Andy's house. So he decided he was going to agree to that. But I want to know why I know Calvin see that Sabrina got her hair done. She done sat up in the chair damn near all day long. And you mean to tell me you didn't notice the girl got her hair done? You didn't even compliment her or say nothing? But you see Bio, though. So Tamara calls Fatima to let her know that she has Hayden eating out of the palm of her hands and everything is going as planned. And, she wanted to know what Fatima needed from her, and Fatima was like, just long as he got somebody that can keep him occupied and stay out of her and Zach's business, she cool with that. She don't need all the glory details. But Tamara did say that he was taking her out to eat, and then she was going to take him to a hotel. So apparently they switched their plans on the way to the car because she was supposed to be taking him back to her house. So Andy and Karen, they actually show up at the same exact time. So Andy is nervous, sweating bullets. I don't know why she's so nervous. And Karen, she's over there cool as a cucumber for now. And, they're like, "Oh," Karen tells her, "I told you didn't have to come." And she was like, "Yeah, I needed to come, blah, blah, blah." And she asked her why she's so nervous. She was like, still stumbling and stammering over her words, talking about she just want to know why they invited her over there. And Karen was like, "Well, did you tell her about the baby?" And she was like, "No, I didn't tell her." So they go through all of that, and Andy was like, "Well, let me hold your purse. Let's leave your purse outside." So when has Karen been the one that carry a gun, like how they talk about Fatima carrying something in her purse? Like, when we started all that? But anyway, Karen said, "No, I'm taking my purse with me because this could be a setup." So they were like, whatever. So they go inside or go knock on the door. So Zach goes to the door. He lets them in. They all come in. They have a seat. Andy, she decides she wants to squeeze in the sofa between so that way she can mediate between Fatima and Karen. No one's saying anything. Everybody just looking and staring and looking. And Fatima says, well, are you guys ready to talk? And the episode ends there. Hey, you guys, I know this video probably was more of a rant than anything else, but some of these characters was getting on my everlasting nerves, and judging from next week's trailer, I don't see where it's going to get any better. So brace yourself, buckle up, because it is what it is. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.